Hey, salut friends. Today I'm sharing my impressions of the 5 new fragrances from the Les Essences de Diptyque collection, which I got to smell this Friday. Obviously do not have full bottles here. When I saw these first, I wondered whether they were part of the collection 34, where they had the likes of Benjamin Bohem and some others with a beautiful cracked bottle design, and also this yearly limited release called Essence Insensée, where they do different fragrances. Most of those have been discontinued and some have changed bottles, so I thought maybe they are adding more fragrances to this line. Turns out this is a brand new collection supposed to serve as their higher end exclusive line. The brief from the brand goes, quote, drawing inspiration from nature since its origins, the Diptyque house, known for its candles and other perfume products, opens a new olfactory chapter with Les Essences de Diptyque. This new collection is composed of 5 creations paying homage to treasures of nature with scents that are difficult for humans to perceive, imagined and created by a collective of artists with the aim of transcribing them in terms of emotions and sensations. Unquote. 4 perfumers have been involved: Fabrice Pellegrin, Alexandre Carlin, and Nathalie Cheteau, along with the late Mr. Olivier Péchaud, who has done a lot of fragrances for the brand. So I assume he already started work on some of these before he passed. Apparently they took a synesthesia approach creating these fragrances, as in transforming visual references to smell, as the referred elements do not have any smell naturally, which is demonstrated in some of the released photographs. They all come in these beautiful, aesthetically pleasing flask-like oblong refillable bottles. A set containing all 5 in 10 ml minis was also there for sale. Eau de Parfum concentration. Price is €265 for 100 ml and the mini set is €165. These are not limited edition releases, by the way, a permanent collection to which I will assume they will probably add more fragrances in the future. I do enjoy Diptyque fragrances. It's not an all-time favorite house for me like Mall, but they do have some fantastic, effortlessly casual, chic style of fragrances. Though this niche brand doing an exclusive collection made me squint a little, I was still interested to smell them. Now let's go over them one by one. First is Corail Oscuro, meaning dark corals, supposedly inspired by the red Venetian corals lurking in the shadows underwater. I get some freshness in the opening from the mandarin. The little residual bitterness from it looms over the scent for some time, and after that it becomes rather abstract. In fact, at least 3 of these turn abstract, which I appreciate. Always welcome fragrances which are not easy to interpret and break down based on the notes. What I get here is a genuine yet imaginative interpretation of a clean coral smell, not going in the briny, marine, aquatic direction though. If you have had items made from coral or the actual thing at your home for decoration, or if you have smelled it at an aquarium or something, you know that particular smell. This mineralic, calcified, dry, chalky profile is certainly present. I get the florals, possibly some rose, something spicy, toasty, fiery and earthy as well, like saffron or sesame seeds, something vegetal and iodized lurking underneath. Distant echo of Eau de Gentiane Blanche from Hermès. Some dry saltiness and woodiness comes in as well. It's moody for sure, but not overbearing, strange or challenging. Fresh actually. There is this stillness and calmness to it. Again, it is not as weird as it sounds. Pretty wearable, which is how Diptyque generally are. A fairly evocative scent. Next, let's do Bois Corsé, which refers to a bulky wooden bark. This is a more palatable, straightforward woody scent, which Diptyque is very good at doing, built with a combination of sandalwood and cedar. What I get in the initial stages is this bitter coffee note, which slowly recedes and kind of blends with the woody theme, after which the woods completely take over. You have the crunchy, textured, sharp woodiness from the cedar and the creamy, soft, coconutty, smooth woodiness from the sandalwood, Australian apparently. Warmth from the ambery touches in the background as well. Some sweetness and scotch type of nuttiness from the vanilla and tonka, with some hints of a gourmand. Still a predominantly woody scent though, toasty, ambery, coffee brown colored woods. Thankfully not leaning into the woody ambers direction. The woodiness is typical of Diptyque, especially the sandalwood. It is this powdery, creamy, dandified, dusty, bohemian library-like woodiness. It is a nice woody scent, probably the most predictable of the bunch, but I can see this being the one with a wider appeal because of its trendy traits. Alright, next is Rose Roche, which refers to desert rose or rock rose, which are naturally intricate rose-shaped formations in the desert, generally because of the crustal formation of gypsum crystals. The opening of this is probably the nicest in the collection, and it's not rough as the name would indicate. It is like a lemon rosewater flavored sherbet, so bright, fizzy, searing and effervescent. I don't think it's aldehydes, not sure how they achieved this texture, almost like champagne. Underneath that opening, it settles down on this fresh rose patchouli combo. Some distant hints of something like Chanel's Paris Paris, but this is not perfumey like that one. There is this mineralic, crystalline, sandy undertone to the overall smell. The rose is this lemony, fruity, fresh, somewhat spicy rose. The patchouli is also stylized to support that. It is not a heavy, earthy, mossy rose patchouli. Not too dry as well to go with the desert theme. Quite balanced, nicely done. Now let's get to the two that I was actually looking forward to. Fourth is Lunamaris, celebrating the mother of pearl. Lunamaris means moon loving, it seems. At first, I did not get the connection because it goes all out on spices. I get the pink pepper backed up by incense, maybe some LME resin. It is nice but all sharp, piercing and lemony. Almost made me want to sneeze. But then things take a turn. The spices settle down. After that, there is a huge musk and labdanum component coming in and forming this grey cloud. Maybe 30 minutes into the dry down is when the spices completely settle down and I get the powdery musks creating this shimmer with the incense and cistus labdanum. It is not the typical ambery resinous labdanum or incense here. It is more soft, dusty and powdery with some glow to it. Reminded me of L'Orpheon from Serge Lutens to some extent. Tested on skin and it gets cozy and comforting actually. Overall, a minimalistic, spicy, musky, grey amber scent. The fifth and the last is Lilyphéa, inspired by Claude Monet's famous water lilies. Not sure if it's just me, but it has become an overused descriptor. Beautiful, yes, kudos to the one who actually came up with it first, but it keeps getting repeated in several fragrance descriptions and even reviews these last couple of years. Ah, it smells like Claude Monet's garden in Giverny. I have seen that over and over again, so I was hoping that this fragrance is relevant to this descriptor, and gladly it is. My reference for a great water lily fragrance is Lys Méditerranée from Frederic Malle. That goes more in the aquatic direction, even vegetal and endolic. This, on the other hand, goes more in the fresh, watery, ozonic direction with the violet. I see some connection between both with the ginger, creating this touch of spicy, zingy tonality. Also, this is approaching it from the point of view of the rounded, suspended leaves. Still not that green as one would expect. Other than the violet and ginger, I get what is probably one of the more complex, careful, unique interpretations of vanilla. I don't know if there are multiple vanillic elements in here, but it is so different from the generic sweet vanilla. So soft, airy and gentle. Rather beautiful fragrance. I think they have done fairly well in honoring and capturing the tranquility and the still scenery of the inspiration. Probably my favorite from this collection. Overall, I have quite enjoyed smelling these. An interesting set of fragrances. They are conceptual, modern, creative and evocative. Eloquently done. Come across dreamlike, poetic experiences based on the themes that they are going for. And I can already say these are more interesting than some others from the main line of Diptyque. More thoughtful, original, quality actually seems to be a step up. Seems like considerable time and effort has gone in, like they actually cared. They may sound strange, but they are very wearable, nothing weird or challenging. Very much fit the effortless, house aesthetic of Diptyque. They are moderate to understated experiences for the most part, except maybe Bois Corsé. Do come across like they have a lot of clean masks, so diffusion is like a typical Diptyque. Just do not go in expecting all of them to be big opulent smells. They are more personal and inward looking kind of scent profiles. If I had to pick my favorites, Lilyphéa would be first, and then Lunamaris and Corail Oscuro. Kudos to trying something new and not going and doing extrait de parfum versions of their existing fragrances or something. I have not been big on the releases from the brand in the last few years, but these are impressive. The pricing of €265 for 100 ml is not cheap by any means. Maybe I'm old, but for an exclusive collection from a niche house, it's not that outrageous in 2024, seems to be the general consensus. Their normal fragrance line for reference is €165 for 75 ml, and here you are paying 100 more for 25 ml and a refillable bottle essentially. Still, if you have been in the hobby for more than 7, 8, 9, 10 years like me and have those earlier point references in terms of pricing, then yeah, for me these are overpriced. Would I have preferred if these were just priced like the other Diptyque fragrances? Of course, yes. Even those have increased to be fair. For now, I have not decided to buy any, but I'm definitely going to keep revisiting these, notably the 3 I mentioned, and see if I would consider a future purchase, especially if I can find a deal. But yes, do recommend checking them out. Either way, those have been my impressions of the 5 new fragrances from the Les Essences de Diptyque collection. Thanks for watching, take care and ciao.